Tuesday. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm Kristen and I'm offering this from Olympia, Washington, so blessings from wherever you are on the planet. I consider this a gentle yoga class, a level 1 class, but everybody has their own flexibility and own things going on with our bodies, so please honor your body's wisdom. Take it to the pace and rhythm that feels best to your body, and offer yourself modifications and variations. If you need to be doing something else other than what we're doing, please honor that as well. I do sound healing, and I'm going to incorporate that into the class, and so we're going to start off with some breathwork and meditation, and then we'll move into doing the asana practice. I'll do some sound healing during the meditation and breathwork. We will start our practice seated. You're welcome to come onto your back if you'd like for the meditation, to take some time on the back of relaxing. So let's just take a few moments to get settled here. So if you're going to stay seated for the meditation, any comfortable position that you can be in. So some folks will be in Sukhasana, just an easy sit pose. Some students will stick one or both legs out for knees or hips or whatever. So just trying to find that place of comfort for yourself. I obviously have some cushion underneath my bum, so maybe a rolled up towel or a cushion could be helpful underneath the sits bone so that your knees are a little bit lower than the hips. So take a moment, make adjustments, movements, wiggles to see if your body could be even more comfortable. And then I'll settle back onto the sits bone so the core muscles are engaged. And begin to cultivate that lengthening of your spine. So you can imagine you've got a little string being tugged from the crown of your head, reaching through the crown to lengthen in the spine. Sometimes as we do that, our shoulders will creep up towards the ears. So let's take a moment to roll the shoulders up, back, and behind you, bringing our wings back to the back body. You might like a little tuck of the chin towards the chest. See if that would feel good to you. And then just relax. I think some of us might be efforting to have that nice tall spine, so just soften where you can. Always embracing the essence of ease in our practice and our lives. If you're comfortable to close the eyes, close the eyes. Or just focusing on the screen or a stationary point in the room that you're in. Notice the rhythm of your own breath. A lovely, lovely breath. Just take some time to notice. You have an expansion in the body with your inhalation, so somewhere your body will expand. Sometimes the belly expands, like filling a balloon with air. Sometimes you might feel the breath up into the heart and the chest. You might sense some breath in the back body or side ribs. So just simply noticing the breath. Notice you for breathing into your belly, and if you're not, send some breath down there. With each inhalation, begin to invite a sense of ease and peace and relaxation to flow into the body, the mind, the heart, and the belly. With each exhalation, continuing to relax and release. Letting the morning go as we settle into here and now. Letting go of any tension, worry, or fear. Letting go of pain or discomfort in the body, the mind, or the heart. Take some time in the mind to just let go what no longer serves you. Just maybe you state a few things inside your mind. I let go of, and you fill in the blank. And then we'll focus closer on the breath, moving into a pranayama exercise. We're going to inhale for a count of 3. Hold and retain the breath for a count of 3, and exhale for a count of 3. So if you'd like a visual for the mind, you can imagine equilateral triangle. I'll do a couple rounds with you, and then you can continue to work with this breath on your own. We'll begin together, inhaling 3. Hold and retain the breath for 3. Exhale 3. Inhale 3, hold and retain the breath for 3, exhale 3, Again, inhale, hold and retain the breath, and exhale. Continue in this way. Count the breath in your mind. 1 through 3 as you take a breath in, 1 through 3 as you hold and retain the breath, and 1 through 3 as you take a breath out. We'll incorporate this breath for 2 minutes. Inhale, retain, and exhale for 3 counts. Of this breath. Inhale, retain, and exhale for 3 counts. All right, with your next exhalation, we'll release the breath work, coming back to the natural rhythm of your own breathing. And if you want, you can extend your legs out to bring your opposite leg in front, or just take a moment to release the knees if that would feel good to your body, or you can stay exactly as you are. We're going to move into a simple meditation. On your inhalation, mentally affirm, I am. And on your exhalation, mentally affirm, filled with peace. Other thoughts may come to the mind, letting them pass and coming back to the meditation. I am filled with peace. For 2 minutes. 3 more rounds of breath with the meditation. And with your next exhalation, we'll release the meditation, once again returning to the breath. Take a moment to sense any changes in the body or the mind. From here, we'll take the hands to the heart center in Anjali Mudra. Bow slightly to the hands and just take a moment to honor yourself for being here this afternoon. Letting this time be a gift and opportunity to consciously and positively connect to your body and breath. And just another reminder to stay kind in your mind and to use positive language to support your body and to support your practice. Staying curious, compassionate, and kind. And we'll slowly release. If you stayed seated for the meditation, take the hands behind you, fingertips pointing towards your body, and extend the legs out. We're just going to shake the knees out a little bit. If you were on your back for the meditation, take some time to transition up to seated and join us at seated. And then we'll still have our hands behind us, fingertips pointing towards us. We'll take our feet wider than our hips or out towards the side edges of a mat if you're on a mat. And then just begin to sway your legs side to side like windshield wipers on a car. Releasing our hips from our cross-legged position. Take your time here as you find the pace and rhythm that feels best to your body. You could inhale the legs to one side and exhale to the other. Good. The next time your legs land over to your right side, let's release them to the floor for a little twist. Gaze down to your left hand and try to just allow the weight of your legs to relax towards gravity as best as you can. If that's intense for any reason, you could prop something between the knees or underneath that lower knee. Return to your breath. Good. Inhale, head and knees back to center, and exhale over to the other side. Legs to the left as you gaze to the right hand. And bringing head and knees back to center. Returning to a comfortable seated position. If Sukhasana Easy Sit Pose is an option for you, then join me there. Otherwise, make some modifications and variations so your body is most comfortable. We'll start with our palms facing down on the knees. We're just going to make simple circles with the torso, circling up towards your feet and rounding back towards your hips. Opening up our low back, opening up more in the hips. Again, finding that flow and rhythm that feels good to your body. And the next time you come up towards your feet, reverse directions, opposite way. Good, and returning back to center. Moving into a little seated flow. We'll start with our hands alongside the hips. Settle back to your sits bones so the core muscles are engaged. We're helping that to create a nice foundation here as we settle back to the sits bones. We'll inhale the arms overhead, gazing up to your hands. Exhale as you hinge at the hips, coming into a simple seated forward fold. We're going to continue to move and flow here. So inhale as you round the torso back up. Arms going to come back overhead, gaze up again. Exhale, shifting over to the right side, keeping both sits bones rooted to the floor. Inhale, return to center. Exhale over to the left side, sits bones rooted, top palm facing the floor. Transitioning to a twist, we'll lead with the top arm. Left hand comes to your right knee, right hand behind you, exhale over the right shoulder. Inhale, return to center, gazing up again if you can. And then exhale, twist to the other side. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind, exhale over the left shoulder. So there's our flow. We're going to work with that a couple more times. Inhale the arms back overhead. Exhale, seated fold. Inhale, round the torso back up. Arms come back overhead. Exhale to the right side. Side bend. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Good. Inhale into our twist. We'll exhale here as well. Inhale, return back to center. Arms come back overhead. Exhale, twist to the other side. All right, one more time. Inhale the arms back overhead. Exhale, seated fold. Inhale, round the torso back up, arms come back overhead. Exhale over to the right side. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale into our twist. Exhale over that right shoulder. Good. Inhale the arms back overhead, come to center. Exhale, twist over to the left side. And now we're going to hold in several places. So inhale the arms back overhead. Exhale, seated fold to hold. So arms will just be extended from the body. Making sure to keep both sits bones connected to the mat rather than lifting your buttocks off the floor. You could come down to elbows as a variation for another option. You could also, if you had a block, you could rest your head on a block if that would be of support. So once you get settled, we're going to let the body take shape of the pose here. So let the shoulders round and let the head hang. And then practice relaxing in your hips and your glutes. Begin to send some breath down into the low back. Letting go where you can with each exhalation. Three more nice deep breaths. Good, we'll transition. We're going to do a side bend flow a few times. So inhale as you walk the hands back towards the body, and the arms going to come back overhead. And then let's flow a couple times side to side here. So we'll inhale as we bring our bodies back to center, and exhale as you shift over to the side. But again, we're not lifting the buttocks off the floor, really rooting those sits bones so you can really find that lengthening in the lower back. And if you want to go faster, pick up the pace a little bit. Good. Next time you land over on your right side, let's hang there together for several breaths. So top palm can face the floor. See if you can allow that top shoulder to soften a little bit down the back body. Rooting buttocks to the earth, and take the mind towards the breath. Inhale, return back to center, and then exhale over to the left side. Deep, sweet breaths here, relaxing and releasing where you can. Good, let's transition towards our twist. We'll lead with that top arm. Left hand's gonna come to the right knee, right hand behind you. So that hand behind you, those fingertips can point away from your body, but rather than leaning into that back hand, still stay on your sits bones to cultivate that nice tall spine. Stay with the breath. Inhale the arms back overhead, gaze up to the hands. Exhale, twist to the other side. Nice deep breaths here. Practice breathing into the back body and spine. From here, we'll move into a cat-cow flow. So inhale, take the arms back overhead, gazing up. Exhale, grasp onto the knees as you tuck chin towards the chest, arching back into cat back. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, heart comes forward, gaze to the ceiling and cow spine. Exhale, back to cat back. And inhale into cow spine. Continue in this way a few more times, beginning to open up the spine, giving our immune system a sweet little boost, and opening in the heart center. As we begin to warm in the heart center, opening yourself to self-compassion, self-acceptance, and self-love. Last one here. Good. Come back to center when you're finished, and then extend your legs out. We're going to shake out the knees a little bit. And then if you want, take your opposite leg in front to keep your hip flexors evened out. Excuse me, my leggings keep slipping down. Otherwise, just come to whatever is cozy. We're going to do some shoulder and neck work. So take the hands alongside your hips and just begin to incorporate shoulder circles. We're going to start with them at the same time, moving in the same direction. Good. Reverse directions, opposite way. All right, let's go back in that first direction, and this time we're going to do single shoulder circles. Try to kind of move in the upper body a little bit more, getting the stretch into the thoracic spine and the mid-back. Good, once again, opposite direction. All right, settle back onto the sits bones again. Hands are still alongside the hips. Find that nice tall spine. We're going to inhale the shoulders up to the ears, exhaling with the ha as we let them go. Inhaling up. Inhale. Again. One more for good measure on today. Good. Get those shoulders down. All right, take them back up to yours for a moment. Roll them behind you and then soften down the back body. Opening in the heart. Let's take the palms facing down back to the knees. Take another deep breath in. With your exhalation, shifting the left ear to the left shoulder. Inhale gently back to center. Exhale to the right side. So let's just go on our own a couple more times. Inhale your head back to center and exhale over to the side. Just go a few times to just begin to warm the musculature in the back of the cervical spine before we move into a holding place. I definitely have a Zoom neck and computer neck, and I really miss my massage practitioners, but we will do what we can. All right, next time you come back to your left side, let's hold there together for several breaths. So tilt the ear towards the shoulder rather than lifting your shoulder to meet the ear. Relax your jaw and soften the space between the eyebrows. You can also at that same time on the opposite side of the neck, reach that side up towards the ceiling, creating a little bit of a isometric stretch and lengthening in those muscle fibers. And then if you want to increase that stretch a little bit, variation 1 is just extending your right arm out to the side, fingertips near the floor. Good, and then second variation, take the middle finger on the left hand to the tip of your right ear and give a little tug to the ear to create a little traction in the neck. You can even find that kind of line of energy from your fingertips at the back of the skull down to those opposite fingertips. One more big breath. All right, we'll return the hands to the knees. Inhale the head gently back to center. Let's exhale here as well. Inhale again. And then exhale right ear to right shoulder to hold. And again, reaching those muscles on the left side of the neck up towards the ceiling for a gentle isometric stretch. Still sitting upon the sits bones with that nice tall spine. And returning to your breath. And first variation for increasing that stretch is extending your left arm out to the side, fingertips near the floor. Good, and then second variation, middle finger on the right hand to the tip of your left ear, a little traction stretch if that feels okay to your body. Good, one more nice deep breath. And then release the hand back to where it was. We'll inhale the head back to center. Exhale, take the chin towards the chest. And making a smile of the heart. Inhale as you roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. Exhale, sweep the chin towards the chest, over to the other side. A few more in this way. Slow, mindful movements of the neck. Good, one more to each side. And then take the chin back towards the chest for a couple more breaths. Reach the back of the skull towards the ceiling and practice breathing up your back body. Inhale the head back to center in neutral position. And then exhale, gaze up to the ceiling. Imagine a paintbrush on the end of your nose, painting an arch or a rainbow or a smile in the sky, and getting the back of the neck in a mindful way, protecting inner vertebra. Still make sure this is okay for your body. This is definitely a common neck stretch for me now that we are online so much. And also another offering is you could just roll up a hand towel and stick that right under your neck, and that's just going to support that proper curvature of the top of the spine. right, one more in each direction. And bring the head back to center. Let's take a few integrating breaths here. Keep going with that if you need to. We're going to do some integrating breaths and see if you can bring the breath all the way up into the shoulders and the neck. 3 big inhales, 3 big breaths. Big breath in. Another nice deep breath. One more full breath. Wonderful. All right, extend your legs out, shake out the knees again one more time. And then we're going to transition to our hands and knees in tabletop position. If you need any support underneath your knees, grabbing some cushioning for yourself. We're going to align our wrist under our shoulders and knees under our hips. So we're going to have space between the hands as well as the knees. If you have sensitivity in the wrists, you could take the hands to fists, or you could also roll up something to support underneath the heels of the hands. I've got hyper flexible elbows, so just if you're wondering why your elbows don't do what mine do, because they're really flexible, so no worries on that. Actually keep a little bend and micro bend in the elbows for longevity of the joint structures. Cat-cow flow. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, we're going to arch up into cat back. Press the back of the spine to the sky and lift your belly button towards the heart and towards the spine. And inhale into cow. We'll lift the tail, gazing up in the opposite direction. Continue in this way. Exhale, cat back. So as we come into cat back, lift your belly button to the spine so we're actually engaging our core muscles. And then when you come into cow, just relax the belly muscles, but give that little engagement as you come into a cat back. Good, 3 more here. Last one. Good, coming back to center when you're finished. And then we're going to move into half dog. So we're going to get the same effects of down dog, but from hands and knees here. So walk your hands away from your body or towards the front edge of a mat if you're on a yoga mat. And then if you can, keeping your arms extended away from your body, take the forehead towards the floor and tilt your sits bones up towards the ceiling. If that is no way going to happen for your body, then just take your elbows and you can let the head hang lower than your pelvis. And then breathe into the back of the heart. Try to broaden the space between your shoulder blades. Make modifications as you need. 2 more breaths here. Keep lifting the sits bones to find that lengthening in the spine as we do in down dog. And then walk your hands underneath the shoulders to help yourselves back up. We're going to do a wrist stretch, so if you're okay, you can sit back on your heels, or you can stay up on your knees, or you can just offset onto your hip. If you want an extra foot stretch, tuck the toes under. We're going to take our fingertips together, making bird's beaks with the hands. We're just going to rotate the wrist around in circles. We do about 3 wrist stretches throughout our time in table pose, or on hands and knees. All right, reverse directions. Okay, so we're going to do a thread the needle flow. I'm going to show you that real quick for anybody that doesn't know what that is. So we're going to start on the right. We're just going to go right to left. So we're going to inhale that right arm. We're going to lift that as high as we can and look up towards that hand. And then we're going to thread that hand through so we come onto the right shoulder, the right side of the head. Inhale, come back to table. You can exhale here as well, and then same thing to the other side. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale as you thread that hand through, coming onto the shoulder and the side of the head. And then inhale back to table and exhale here as well. So that's our flow. We'll kind of thread through. Let's go 3 times to each side, and then we're going to hold on each side for several breaths. So I'm going to start on my right side. Inhale as you lift the arm overhead. Exhale, thread the arm through, coming to the shoulder and the side of the head. Inhale here, and then we'll exhale as we unravel. I kind of just switched the breath cycle, so I'm going to continue with that one. I kind of like that one better. Inhale the left arm overhead. Exhale, thread the arm through, coming onto the side of the head and the shoulder. Inhale here like this, and then exhale, unravel back to table. Okay, so flow with your own breath. If you want to stay with my pace and rhythm, you can, or create the one that works better for your body. We're going to do one more to each side. This is our second flow. So let's flow one more time to each side. So last one on the right side. And then the last one on the left side for our flow. Okay, so when you've done 3 flows on each side, then come back to table, and then we're going to hold. All right, so let's go back to our right side. Let's inhale that right arm overhead again, and then thread that hand through. We're going to stay here on this side. I'm going to switch my positioning so people can see. All right, where am I? Okay. So let's start with the left arm with the wrist underneath the elbow so that that left arm is at a 90-degree angle to start. Begin to breathe into the back of the heart. Breathe into your upper back. This is a great stretch for thoracic spine. And now stay just as you are. If you want to try a different variation for your left arm, you could just extend that arm into the air. You could take your left hand to your sacrum, or you could tuck it around into your right hip to form a little twist with your upper body. So take a variation if you want one. Otherwise, just keep that arm at a 90-degree angle. We'll be here for 3 more breaths. Release if you need to before. Wonderful. Extend that left arm back up. And then we'll take that left hand to the floor. We're going to unravel, come back to table pose. Let's do 2 cat-cows before we take it over to the other side. This time we'll inhale into cat back and exhale into cow. Inhale cat, exhale cow. Good. Come back to center. Now we'll take that over to our left side. So inhale the arm overhead if you can, and then thread that hand through over onto your left shoulder. Right hand will be at a 90-degree angle, so line your wrist under your elbow. And just get settled, make modifications, variations. If that's too far to go all the way down to the floor, then put some pillows down to shorten that distance for your body. Still breathing. And then if you want to take a variation for your right arm, that right arm can extend towards the ceiling. That right arm can come to your sacrum. The palm can come to the sacrum, or you can tuck the right hand through into your left hip to give a little twist. Smile, we're stretching together, yay. One more breath. All right, inhale that right arm back over towards the ceiling. We'll take that to the floor and then unravel back to table pose. Once again, let's do 2 cat-cows. So inhale into cat back. Exhale into cow, inhale cat, and exhale cow. All right, press up onto the knees. We're going to do a couple runner's lunges on each side. So step forward, we're going to do a runner's lunge twist. So step forward with your right foot. And again, you might want some cushion underneath your knees. I'm on a hardwood floor, so if you're on carpet or something, that might be more cozy, but just get something underneath that patella bone. So the more alignment piece, the more important piece is just to make sure your ankle is below the knee. So you could be, you could have your foot closer to your body if you don't want to go into a deeper lunge, or scoot the foot away from your body so you can go into a deeper lunge, but just keep that alignment of the ankle below the knee. Okay, then the shoulders, if they're coming up to the ears, let them soften down the back body. So let's hang here for a couple breaths. We're going to move then towards the runner's lunge and then the twist variation. Let's just begin that opening in the hips. Press both feet and all those toes to the earth. Okay, stay here if you want. If you want to go further, we'll move to runner's lunge. So the hands will come to the floor, or just fingertips to the floor, kind of making a little tent. We'll tuck our left toes under, and we're going to lift that left leg off the floor. Okay, so runner's lunge. If you had blocks, you could take a block on either side of the foot, or keep the knee connected to the floor and stay in the lunge that we just began with. And then twist variation, keep your left hand on the floor, kind of the inner part of your right foot, and inhale that right arm overhead. So this is a variation. If this is too much, come out of it a little bit. One more breath wherever you are, even if you're back still in that first lunge. All right, take the hands back to the floor. If you were in runner's lunge, take that left knee to the mat. And then everybody bring the arms up to a V for exalted lunge. Look up. All right, hands come to that front knee. Yield and push yourselves up. We're going to switch sides. So take that left foot towards the front of the mat. Here's where you could begin your lunge. And if you have more tightness in knees or hips, or you're brand new to yoga, start here. You're still getting a stretch. If you feel a stretch in your body, then it's quote unquote working. Otherwise, you can scoot your foot further away from the body to sink deeper into your hips. So see where you're at on this side. Our bodies are balanced in different ways. Softening those shoulders down your back body. Stay with your breath. All right, stay here if you'd like. If you want to go further, then take the hands to the floor. Tuck those right toes under, lift up for runner's lunge to the other side. Otherwise, stay exactly as you are. Still breathing, staying right here with the breath. And then stay in runner's lunge, or if you want to try that twist variation, right palm can come to the floor or a block, and then inhale your left arm overhead. One more breath. Good, bring the hand back to runner's lunge. We'll take our right knee down to the floor, and then bring the arms up to a V for exalted lunge. All right, hands come to the knee, yield and push yourselves up. We're going to transition up to standing. Okay, so feet wider than your hips. We're going to imagine we have a hula hoop around our waist. Rotate your hips around in big, wide circles. I always do this after I do lunge work. It just kind of reopens up the hips. And then reverse directions, opposite way. All right, come back to center, standing twist. You can roll onto the toes or just keep feet connected to the floor. Good, one more to each side. And back to center. Cross, cross, some yoga for the brain. Take the left elbow to the right knee and right elbow to the left knee. Crossing the midline of your body, tapping your opposite limb. Offering that interhemispheric integration of the left and right brain. All right, try some behind you, making sure to tap your opposite foot. And let's try one set in front and one set in the back. Do this every day, especially when you're stressed. One more set of each. All right, so we're going to do another brain enhancing exercise that's also a balancing exercise. And so feet are in mountain pose, so about hips distance apart. You can spread out the yoga toes. Take the hands to the heart. And then we're going to just bend into kind of like a chair pose. So take your torso towards your thighs. And then you're going to yield and push. My head's going to come off, but just, I'm still here. You're going to yield and push, and you're going to come onto your right leg. Bend your left knee. And my arm is overhead, like that. Okay? Show different views. Look at that balance. Woo! All right. And that, so we'll go side to side. So inhale, come back to center, and then yield and push over on the left side. Right knee bends. Yep, you got it. So go side to side. So now this is balancing front and back of the brain. Giving our whole nervous system support today. All right, one more to each side. Awesome blossom. All right, that feels good. Let's do tree pose for our balancing pose today. So starting on your right side, spread out those yoga toes. Left foot options, tiptoes can come just to the floor, or you can bring it to the low ankle, or ankle for low tree, a little below the knee, or a little above the knee, but not on the knee. And so as I put my foot to the leg, I'm pressing in towards each other, creating a little bit of resistance. Keep a little bend in the knee, and even a little tuck of your pelvis. So I have hypoflexible elbows. I was a gymnast as a kid, so I've got this oversplaying kind of ribs and anterior tilt to the pelvis. So just make sure you're bringing a little tuck to your tail so we're engaging these lower belly muscles and protecting our low back. Okay, arms could be at a low V, they could be at the heart, they could be out to a T. If you're feeling extra wobbly today, take your arms out to a T. You're going to get that biggest balance support. I like to focus my eyes somewhere on the floor. Other students look across the room, but find a stationary point to focus your eyes. And breathing. One more breath. All right, gently release that leg down. Let's rotate that ankle you were just on a few times in each direction. And then we'll take that over to our other side. Spread the toes on your left foot. Right tiptoes, ankle below the knee, above the knee. See which arm placement, low V, out to a T at the heart. Keep pressing foot and leg in towards each other. Little micro bend to the knee. Notice if the shoulders are creeping to the ears, try to soften them to the back body. Find your breath. Good, one more balancing breath. Beautiful, release that leg down. Rotate that ankle you were just on a few times in each direction. All right, let's come on to our backs. So once you make your way onto your back, take your feet wider than your hips. Arms will come out to a T, palms to the floor. We'll keep the head forward for now, and we'll just begin to sway our legs side to side like windshield wipers on a car. You can inhale the legs to one side and exhale to the other, or you could inhale the knees to center and exhale as they shift to the side. So see which flow of the breath feels good to you. And then let's transition this into a twist flow by beginning to look in the opposite direction of the knees. So as your legs land to the left side, gaze to your right hand. Exhale, legs to the right as you gaze to the left hands. A couple more times in this way, getting this twist all the way up the spine. Keeping your shoulder blades rooted to the earth. Good. Next time your legs land over to your right side, let's release them to the floor for a double knee down twist. Looking in the opposite direction of the knees. If you want to increase that stretch on your left quadricep, take your right foot to the top of the left knee. So kind of that lower leg will come on top, creating like a little fan with the leg. So right foot on top of left knee. And so the weight of that right leg is going to lengthen out that left quadricep a teeny bit more. One more beautiful breath here. Good. Bringing your feet back to the side edges of the mat, side to side 3 more times with a twist flow. And then we'll let our legs fall over to our left side as we gaze to the right hand for a double knee down twist. And then if you want to increase that stretch a little bit, take that left foot to the top of your right knee. If you want to increase that stretch. Nice deep breaths. 2 more breaths here. And once again, feet come to wider than your hips, side to side 3 more times. And we'll come back to center. So keep the knees bent, ankles kind of lying below the knees. Feet are hips distance apart. Arms can just come alongside the body. With your next inhale, we'll take the right knee towards the right shoulder, coming into Apanasana pose. So you can interlace with your hands or a strap or a scarf across the top of that right knee or underneath the knee along the hamstring. So see what feels good. Align the knee with the shoulder. I like to, just to kind of help out that hip flexor a little bit. And then left knee can stay bent. Left knee can fall out to the left side to roll on the outer edge of the foot for a little adductor stretch. Or that leg can be extended all the way to the floor. And if you're going to extend that left leg, flex the foot so we keep that side engaged. And if you go to extend the leg and somewhere in your body says, hey, take the foot back to the floor and keep the knee bent. Check in with the neck. You might like a little tuck of the chin to the chest to lengthen out the cervical spine to the floor. See if that feels good. Relaxing and releasing a little bit more with each breath. One more breath here. I'm going to do a little hamstring flow from here. So with your next inhale, we'll extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, bend the knee back towards the chest. So just incorporate this a few times. Inhale with that leg extension and exhale, bending the knee. One more flow. And so then the next time your right leg is extended in the air, let's actually hold there a couple moments, a couple breaths for a little hamstring stretch. And with your next exhale, point the right toes. Exhale as you lower that leg to the floor. Let's take an integrating breath here. Big breath in. Good, and then take your right foot to the mat and your left foot to the mat. Knees are bent. With your next inhalation, take the left knee towards the left shoulder. Apanasana to the other side. Again, our bodies are balanced in different ways. It might feel better to interlace underneath the knee on this side. See which variation you would like to incorporate with your with your right leg. Remember to flex the foot if you're going to extend that leg. And just see where you can let the weight of your body sink into the support of the floor and the earth. Deep breaths into the belly. Sending some breath into the hip. 2 more breaths here. We'll begin our hamstring flow. Inhale as you extend the left leg up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bending that knee back towards the shoulder. Inhale with the leg extension. Exhale, bending the knee. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale to hold, interlacing wherever is comfortable. Find that and notice that lengthening in the back of the leg. 2 more nice deep breaths. And then we'll point those left toes. Exhale as you lower that leg to the floor. Turn the palms to the ceiling alongside your hips. This time 3 integrating breaths. One more nice deep breath. All right, take the feet again back to the mat. We're going to end with reclined butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. So take the soles of your feet together. The knees will fall out to the side. If you need support, prop something underneath the knees if that's too big of a stretch on its own. Or you could also scoot your feet away from your body so the legs are more in cobbler than butterfly. So just see which variation could feel good to you. Let's take the left hand to the heart and the right hand to the belly. And just once again, tapping into the rhythm of your own breath. Noticing the rise and fall of your belly and chest with each inhale and exhale. And just noticing that for a few rounds of breath. You might notice that you're more breathing into the belly and not into the chest, or vice versa. Again, just noticing. And whatever you find and discover, see if you can breathe into the belly and into the chest. So we're expanding our whole torso with the breath as we inhale, and then completely letting go of anything else with each exhale. So let's do that for a few more rounds of breath. And then just begin to repeat inside your mind, I am at peace within myself. I am at peace within myself. I am at peace within myself. One more breath here. And then release the arms back alongside your body. We're going to move towards Shavasana, final relaxation. So if you're comfortable here in reclined butterfly, you can stay exactly as you are. Otherwise, take the hands to the outer parts of the knees to let the legs come back towards each other, and just find that position that feels most comfortable. You might extend the legs to the floor. You might keep the knees bent. Shavasana is an opportunity to allow us to integrate our practice into the body, mind, and spirit. With each breath, allowing that integration as you invite your whole self to come into a peaceful state of relaxation. Gently bring your attention back to your breath. Deepening and lengthening in the breath. As you deepen your breath, inviting gentle movements to the body, wiggling your fingers and your toes, circling your wrists and your ankles. And if you'd like, extending legs out long, reaching your arms overhead into a full body stretch. And roll onto your right side. Use your lower arm to support your head, taking a couple more relaxing breaths on your side. Using strength of hands, elbows, and arms, gently lifting yourselves up to a comfortable seated position. Take your time. We're going to close our practice this afternoon with one Om. Palms can be placed wherever is comfortable. Let's take a deep breath in to begin, please. Inhaling. Bringing the hands back to the heart center in Anjali Mudra. We'll end by praying for peace with one Om, 3 Shantis, and 3 pieces. Om, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May we carry it into our worlds. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me. That feels much better. If you're able to make a donation, I am on Venmo, info@KristenRubis.com, and I'm also on PayPal, krubylove@yahoo.com. And so these are also my email addresses. And so if you want to email me, or if you have any questions or wonderments or comments or complaints or feedback, I'm always willing to receive and trying to make this an even better experience for you all.